Hello, Vectrex fans. This is Mark W.
And Rob.
And today we are opening a package of overlays for the Vectrex that we ordered from a nice guy named Steven Kray. Now, let me tell you how I found Steven Kray. Basically, well, first of all, he is on the Facebook group called Vectrex Fans Unite with an exclamation point at the end. And that, as far as I can tell, is the biggest and most active and most awesome congregation of Vectrex fans. People who just collect, people who play, people who develop, etc. So anyway, I found an eBay post of this guy's stuff. An eBay, an actual eBay posting. And he was selling overlays. So I actually asked on the Facebook group, does anybody know this guy? Is he reliable? Or can anybody recommend the best place to purchase new overlays? And what I mean by new overlays is these are reproductions and not the originals.
Yes.
The reason why I want to do that is because, for one thing, I don't really care about collectability. I don't really need the originals. I just want something that's playable and looks cool.
We're not collecting them.
And so, basically, this guy was recommended, and he actually hangs out on the forum too, so I started chatting with him. Also, if you talk to him directly on the Facebook group, he's more likely to offer you a discount. I don't want to say exactly how he discounts because it might depend on the day. I really don't know. I don't know if he has any firm rules in place. That said, it is quite pricey. I did order quite a few of these. Trying to remember how many I ordered. I ordered something like 20-ish, and he threw in a little discount because I had a large order, and he also threw in a few freebies, which were some overlays with experimental ink or something like that he mentioned. So I'm not exactly sure what to expect. But anyway, we're going to open them up, take a quick look. We're not going to demo them on the Vectrex itself because my Vectrex, which I'll pan over here, don't mind all the junk on the table, it's kind of in the process of being cleaned right now by me. And I do not feel like having to deal with powering it up and worrying about the CRT having a charge again and all that stuff. Here are the original overlays I have. I only have two. I have one for
Scramble and one for Hyperchase.
That's right. And the one for Hyperchase is a bit damaged, so you can see the scratches. So anyway, I've heard that actually Steven himself said that his reproductions are a little bit thinner, but otherwise they're the same size, and they're pretty good, and all that stuff. So anyway, basically what I'm getting at with the prices, though, is they are expensive, but they're reasonable, because this is just some dude doing this to make probably very few bucks, and mostly as part of the love for the community and the hobby. So anyway, all that said, let's open it up. Bob, will you hold camera? Okay, I'm going to bring out the trusty knife.
Do not bend this.
Do not bend. Let's see, it's taped really well. It's possibly not very interesting to watch me cut tape, so maybe in the future I'll just do that ahead of time. But it's not taking long.
It'll be very quick.
Okay, let's just cut this. Here we are.
Alright.
Okay, a little bit tightly packed, so I gotta tear it a little bit further. Tear the edges here, the corners. Yeah, so the Vectrex cleaning that I'm doing, I'm cleaning it out. It's totally covered in grime and dirt. It's been quite a project.
It's very good.
Also, I'm taking my sweet time, kind of. It's like every once in a while I find the time to put in like a half hour or an hour cleaning it up.
Yep.
And it's amazing how much dirt and filth is on that thing. Once that's done, I'm going to install the buzz-off kit that I got, which I mentioned I showed off in a previous video. Anyway, I can take that again.
Yeah, we have several Q-tips covered in dirt.
That's true. And also other things like paper towels. Okay, so it looks like he separated each with some paper just to keep them separate, I guess.
Okay.
I'm going to turn off this light overhead because there's a big glare, you can see.
Okay, I can turn it.
Yeah, hit the light. Okay, this one was one of the freebies. It's called Pitcher's Duel. Don't know the game. I imagine it's a baseball game.
Sounds baseball.
It does feel thinner. Can you hold up that other one. Scramble. Alright, so you can see they're basically the same dimensions, which they would kind of have to be if they're going to fit on the Vectrex.
Yeah.
This is feels thinner. This feels like stiffer.
Yeah.
So hold it away.
Sorry.
This is floppier. This feels closer to like a I don't know what to compare it to. I was gonna say like a garbage bag, but not really. It's
No, it's thicker than that, I think.
definitely thicker than that. But this has more of a floppier. Again, I'm at a loss for words what to compare it to. This is like what is it like? I don't know what it's like. It
This
is
one's
what it
easier
is.
to bend. This one's
Sure, this is
thinner.
stiffer and thicker.
more stiff. This one's less stiff.
But if they do the job perfectly, then who cares?
It
Okay,
doesn't
we'll put
matter how much it bends as long as it stays in there.
Yeah, so Fisher do one of the free ones. Basically, the criteria I used for whether I wanted to buy an overlay was basically if I like the game or expect to like the game because it looks cool. I didn't play every game yet. Also, some of them have these button descriptions, what each button does for the game, and for a few games they're a little bit complicated. So I thought maybe for those games I'll get one too.
Yeah.
Anyway, this picture to do is just green. Also, some of them that are visually striking, I decided to get. This one I probably wouldn't have picked out, and I didn't pick it out. But it was a freebie, so why not?
Just a
Can't
solid,
complain.
solid green overlay. Not really.
I'm picking too many at a time. This one is
This is just one of the.
this is one of the psychedelic ones. He has one of the or several of the options that Steven has are these they call them psychedelic patterns, which are not tailored to any specific game. They are just cool looking. You could make your own game and use these, or use them on any other random thing. I am noticing kind of a little. Let me take a look here.
What?
This might be. I don't know. I don't know if it's one of the freebies or not. But I'm noticing. I don't know if you can see it on the camera either. But it's kind of a bubble effect.
Yeah, I see it like right here.
Yeah, like there's some air pockets in here or something. I have no idea how these are made, but I guess maybe there's
Two separate things.
two separate pieces of plastic, perhaps something like that. Or there's yeah, I don't really know. So at any rate, there does seem to be some bubbleage going on. But this might have been one of the free experimental ones.
Maybe.
I was told there was some new technique or new ink involved, so and that they're not perfect, but he's going to throw them my way for free. So don't look at this as any deterrent from ordering from Mr. Kray, because this is probably just a freebie, like an experiment. So if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. All right, let's move on. And I think that is one of the experiments, because I know this one was the picture disc, so most likely he would have all the freebies, you know, bunched together, sort of.
Oh, this is.
This one is called Warrior. The game is called Warrior. And
There's like two pits.
I haven't played this game yet, but yeah, there are two pits in the game. They're not actually drawn in the software. So in the game, you won't actually see the pits. So you kind of need the overlay. That's my understanding anyway. I might be wrong. Armor attack.
Oh, this is the tank game
Yeah, kind of a tank game where you're shooting up other tanks and helicopters and stuff.
in a city or whatever that
This
is.
looks like one of the better games. I haven't played it yet though. Trying to show off the buttons, but it's not focusing too well.
The first button is rotate left. Second button is rotate right. Third one is thrust.
Now
And
it's
the
focusing.
fourth one is fire.
Okay. This one's not the prettiest overlay. I mean, I'm talking about the original design. Steven's work seems impeccable here, so I can't complain about that. Next we have Star Trek, which is a game I've played already, and here it is.
Just a square.
Basically just a square, just to make it so that things you're aiming at in the crosshairs look highlighted, which is a decent effect, I guess. Power link, shield, fire. These are good to have because I didn't really quite know what I was doing besides fire.
Yeah.
And
We're
I don't
just
have the
pressing
instructions for the game.
We're just pressing buttons.
Next up, Star Castle. This is a game where you have like some kind of walls in the center and you're trying to shoot at the center, I think.
Okay.
So that's that. That makes it look like the castle is colorful, I guess.
Yes. There's no color on the Vectrex, just white.
I guess you rotate left to right with buttons in this game, actually, rather than the stick.
I think the tank armor attack had also left and right with buttons.
It did, yeah. If you can't tell, I haven't really played too many games in the system yet, but hopefully we'll remedy that situation soon. Here we have Solar Quest. This is a good game.
Do not hit the sun.
Someone, was it the Rec Classic Games Room or some channel like that, really recommended this game, especially having the overlay with it. It looks really cool. There's a sun in the center, where if you or the other ships in the game touch the sun, they die. Let's see. We have hyper, which is probably like hyperspace. Nuke. You actually can shoot nukes in this one. I guess they're big explosions. Thrust and fire. Moving on.
We have here.
This one is called Ventus. This is not an original game. This is made by, I don't remember who offhand, but it is a modern homebrew game, essentially. And this one has kind of bright colors, pinkish, and you have this yellowish sun-like effect here. I keep holding it up, and you can just see the junk in the background on my dining room table. Probably best if I just show them on the piece of paper that it comes with, but then unfortunately you see the chandelier on the ceiling. But whatever, we don't have a perfect studio here, I suppose. No. Here is War of the Worlds. This is one of the more popular games.
It has a city in the background.
Yeah, so it looks like these robots that are manned by aliens invading Earth are attacking you, and the city's in the background. Maybe they've already taken over the city. This one has the controls of start, status, shield, and fire. Interesting, that one has a dedicated start button.
Yeah.
Sundance. This is another modern game. Sundance, blah, blah, blah. This one has a very fiery kind of effect. With a tiny bluish strip at the top.
Just a little bit.
This one does not actually have buttons defined here, I noticed. Okay, whatever. Next up, this is one of these quote-unquote psychedelic ones. It's generic. Has kind of a similar effect to that last one we were looking at.
Yeah.
Except the blue is on the bottom.
That one looks like it would work for Scramble, kind of.
Yeah, most of them are probably compatible with many games. Like, it's just the effect that you're trying to get. Some games, they have, like, say you're a spaceship right in the center, then they'll have that highlighted in a certain color. And so in that case, it might only make sense for that one game.
Yeah.
But for many of these, you can just kind of jazz up your screen with all kinds of colors. This is definitely one of the psychedelic ones.
That one's just like rainbow.
Yep, we got greenish, which blends into reddish, purplish, bluish. Very nice. All these are really nice looking, by the way. I know they're not quite going to come out quite as perfectly on the camera, but
they look pretty good in person.
They look pretty good. Next up is
another one.
Another psychedelic one.
That one looks like it would be good for one of those games where you have a spaceship in the middle.
Yeah, or a sun in the center.
Or a sun in the center.
There's actually more than one game with a sun in the center. Solar Quest is one of them. I think Space Wars is another. This is for iCyborg. It's upside down.
Is it upside?
I think it might be printed upside down. Oh no. Oh, sorry, I'm holding the camera the wrong way because I'm really confused. I was staring at it in puzzlement. I don't know if it's supposed to be like this or not. So basically, this notch goes on the top, I think. But then you have upside down. Oh, is it reversed maybe? Yeah.
Oh,
no, it's not reversed.
No, it's not reversed. Never mind.
No. So anyway, maybe this one was a misprint and it can get replaced. I'm not sure. This is iCyborg, but it's upside down.
Oh yeah, it's like
backwards. And then the Vectrex is upside down. So I think this one was printed upside down. Or just you could look at it like the notch was cut in the wrong way. That might be it.
Maybe.
So we'll have to look into that one.
Who knows?
Next up is Pole Position. That's a classic team by was it Namco or something? But this is going with the style of it. You have your character, in this case a car, is going to be in this position the whole game. So they might as well give some color to it by highlighting that area.
In a blue car.
Yeah, you got a blue car, basically. Pole Position is a classic. It's on a great deal of systems. This is Mindstorm. This is the game that comes with the Vectrex. And it's actually my favorite game so far.
It's pretty fun, yeah.
But I didn't have the overlay, so I thought I would just shout out the money for this one too. What else we got? By the way, I still have several more to go. I kind of went all out. I kind of figured I would just buy anything that I might want to play. Here we have Vectrex. This is a game that is similar to the classic Gravatar, I believe it's called, which I have not played yet, but I hear it's very good. This one has a cool kind of dark sky effect. You got stars and then this reddish pinkish color here. The Fortress of Narzard. This one has one button. You blast. That's all you're doing.
Blast, that's
you
it.
just blast there.
And move
this
around.
This is supposed to be a good game that I haven't played it yet, and I think it'll be enhanced by this cool color. It looks like kind of like a track, like you're in a trench or something like that.
Kind of.
And there's mountains in the distance. Next up, we have Space Wars.
Space Wars.
This one is another one with the sun in the middle. This is actually based on, or maybe a clone of, one of the first video games of all time. Or it's not the first, I'm not sure. It's a game called Space War, or Singular, I think. And it's basically, this was made by some university. I don't remember which one, in like 68 or something like that. Sometime in the 60s. Basically, you got little ships shooting each other. And the sun acts as gravity, so you get pulled towards the sun as you play, or as you get close to it. And that's basically it. You have hyperspace, like you tend to have in a lot of these games, as well as thrust and fire. Moving on. Berserk. This is the classic intruder alert. However it goes. This one, you can fire. You can fire. You can fire and
fire.
Oh.
You might be able to hear my sister screaming upstairs.
Yeah, that's okay. We're gonna do some background noise reduction before the final cut. It won't be perfect, but it'll do some of the screaming. Okay. Anyway, Berserk's a good game. This is mostly just blue though.
Yeah, it's just basic. It's just full blue.
This is mostly just green. This is one of the games I heard. Another game I haven't played yet, but it's a football game. It's supposedly really simple and really fun. But the reason why I decided I would buy this one is because these controls are like, you would never remember the meaning of all these buttons. You have strong right snap, spread, pass or kick, power, middle, punt, select, strong left, field goal, select. I figured I would never remember what the buttons do. So if I want to play this game effectively, I might as well get the overlay. Yeah. Also, green effect makes it look like a real football field, I suppose.
Football fields are usually green, so yeah.
Web Wars. Ta-da. I don't remember much about this one, except there was another one that was supposed to be good. Oh yeah, this one. It's the one you're collecting these creatures and you put them in your trophy room. You capture them. You have to fire things shooting at you too. Looks cool.
Alright, then maybe that was the last one.
Okay.
We can't demonstrate
that's about it. Everything looks awesome. Thank you, Steven Kray, for the games. And again, if you want to get some of these yourself, you should contact Steven. You can find him on the Facebook group called Vectrex Fans Unite! Steven Kray. And just say you are interested in some of these, and if he could please send you the link to his homepage that has all the info, basically. iCyborg, what does seem to be an error? Where's that one? I guess I don't want to do that right now.
On the bottom somewhere.
I'll take another quick look at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, iCyborg seems to have a misprint or a miscut, so I'll ask Steven about that, see if he can help me out with that. Here it is. So this one, iCyborg.
Yeah.
It's probably totally fine. I think he just
it still works.
He cut the notch upside down, so it's fine. Actually, it's gonna look kind of silly also because the blue is supposed to be highlighting your character, I think.
Oh, so it'd be upside down.
So if you put the notch on the top, it's gonna have the wrong highlighting.
So you have to put the notch on the bottom.
Yeah, that's basically it. Oh, he just notched it wrong, I suppose. Oh,
and the Vectrex is upside down.
right. So if you notch it on the wrong side, everything's gonna be upside down, right?
Yeah.
So that's all there is. Anyway, good stuff. All right, thanks for watching, and more Vectrex stuff to come on our channel, and maybe some other stuff too.
Yeah.
That's all. Mark W. signing off.
And Rob.
Take care. Bye.